Exercise D5. Solving linear equations part 2. Question 1. Solve each equation and verify solutions with left side, right side checks. So, in question 1a, x plus 3 is equal to 7. Inverse operation of plus 3 is minus 3 on both sides of the equation. X is 7 minus 3 or 4. To do a left side, right side check, use a t-chart. You write down LS for left side, RS for right side. Left side of your equation x plus 3. Now you replace x with your answer 4 plus 3. Simplify that to 7. In the right side column, you copy down the original value of the right side, which is 7. So if left side is 7, right side is 7, that means you have solved the equation correctly. B. 2x equals to 6. 2x is 2 times 6. So now you divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 3. In your left side, right side check, you have 2x, or 2 times 3. Simplifies to 6. Right side is also 6. Checks out. Question C. X minus 2 equals 4. X minus 2 plus 2 is the same as 4 plus 2. This is your inverse operations. So x is 4 plus 2 or 6. Left side, right side check. X minus 2 is now 6 minus 2. Simplify it to 4. Compare to original right side, 4. Left side equals right side. D. Negative 3x equals to 9. So we have a multiplication here. We need to divide by negative 3 on both sides of the equation to isolate x. Now x is positive 9 divided by negative 3. A positive number divided by a negative number turns negative. Okay, so we found x is negative 3. In your check for left side, right side, negative 3x is now negative 3 bracket times negative 3. You make sure you have brackets, otherwise it turns into subtraction. Negative number times negative number is a positive number. 3 times 3 is 9. Checks out. Number 2. Solve each equation. Negative 5x is equal to negative 25. To find x, you divide both sides by negative 5. Negative 25 divided by negative 5. Negative divided by negative is positive. And then 25 divided by 5 is 5. X is 5. Question B. Negative 12 is equal to x minus 2. Where is x? On the right side. We need to isolate that. So keep it on the right side, but now we have to undo the minus 2 by adding 2 on both sides of the equation. So the right side is easy. It's just x. Now this is equal to negative 12 plus 2. So you're 12 floors below ground. You're going up 2 floors below ground. So you are closer to ground. So that means it is negative 10. The numbers itself get smaller but on the negative side. If you prefer, you can rewrite this last line as x equals to negative 10 for good form. C. X over 4 is equal to 3. Remember, over means divide. So to now isolate x, I need to undo the division by multiplying both sides of the equation by 4. So when I multiply 4 on the left side, I have x left equals, when I multiply the right side 3 by 4, I get 12. Question D. X divided by negative 2 is equal to -5 here. This is the equation. So once again, because we're dividing by -2, to isolate x, we are going to now multiply by -2 on both sides of the equation. When I multiply -5 by -2 on the right side, negative times negative is positive, and then 5 times 2 is 10. This results in x equals 10. Number 3. Find the error in math solution. Determine the correct solution. The original equation is x plus 5 equals to 12. I think you are very observant and notice that while I can have plus 5 and plus 5 side by side, if we want to undo the plus 5 on the left side of the equation, that should have been a minus 5. So x plus 5 minus 5 is x equals 12 minus 5 becomes 7. Number 4. It's a multiple choice question. For which of the following is x equals 1 the solution? So we have done this in the previous exercise too. You have to substitute 1 into each one of the equation to see if left side is equal to right side. So plug in 1 into A. I have 4 equals 3? No. Equation B. Multiply 2 by 1. You get 4? That's not true. Equation C, 4x, so 4 times 1 equals to 4. That's true. So that must be our answer. And just to make sure we don't miss anything, 1 plus 3 is 2, which is not right, so it can't be true. So the final answer is C. Number 5. Which value of x makes the equation -3x equals -21 true? Now this is a solvable equation. Remember what we said? The strategy is to actually work this out without looking at all the options in the answer. So -3x divided by -3 equals -21 divided by -3. So negative divided by negative is positive. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So the final answer is C. Number 6. We have some word problems here. In 2018 in Iran, sales tax is 9%. This rate is tripled, which means 3 times, since 2010. Write an equation to represent this relationship. Solve your equation to determine the tax rate back in 2010. So what this is saying is this 9% tax rate in 2018 is much more. Well, how much more? It's 3 times more than the tax rate back in 2010. If you want to show it on a diagram, you can use a timeline to organize your thoughts. So if I let x to represent what I'm looking for, which is the tax rate back in 2010, I can say 3 times x, so 3 times the old tax rate is equal to the new tax rate 9. Here we have an equation, 3x equals 9. Now solve for x. You divide both sides of the equation by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So you have found that through solving an equation, the sales tax rate in Iran in 2010 was 3%. Number 7. The Iranian sales tax rate mentioned in question 6 is 16 percentage points lower than the sales tax in Denmark in 2018. Write an equation to represent this relationship. Solve your equation to determine the sales tax rate in Denmark. So let's organize our thoughts before jumping to the math. We are comparing Iran's tax rate to Denmark's tax rate. So Iran's tax rate is 9%, and we're told in the question that 9% is 16 percentage points lower than Denmark. So we can say if we let X to be Denmark's tax rate, it will sit somewhere on the right, and it is 16% higher than 9%. We can use an equation to do this, because starting from Denmark's tax rate X minus, we go back 16% point, then it becomes Iran's percentage point. You solve the equation, add both sides, add 16 to both sides, you get 25% as Denmark's tax rate. Is the stuff in blue the only way to do this question? Absolutely not, because you could have done it by adding 9 to 16. That's equally okay. Number 8. The water project funds well drilling in developing countries. For about $7,000, donors to the water project can help a village get clean water. A school fundraising group had $3,000 left after they donated enough to build 2 wells. Write an equation to represent this relationship. Solve the equation to determine how much the group raised. So the unknown X will represent what we're looking for, the amount of money raised. So now that's a lot of words, but we can take it one step at a time. So the $7,000 represents getting 1 well. The school donated to build 2 wells. So right off the bat, I know the amount of money raised can afford 2 times 7,000. But is that it? Nope, not really, because after they have paid for the 2 wells, they still have $3,000. So I can actually write this as the total of $3,000 plus 2 times $7,000. So X, and that represents X. If you simplify this calculation, 3,000 plus 14,000 works out to $17,000, and that's how much the group raised for the water project. Number 9. Cashing a check at a local service costs $5 for every $100 of check. The service also charges a $3 fee for each check, so this $3 is a fixed one-time fee. John paid $28 to cash his last paycheck. Write an equation to represent this relationship. Solve your equation to determine the amount of John's last paycheck. So here we are going to represent X as every $100 John earned. This is necessary because the $5 service charge is based on every $100. So think about your linear relations. Your fixed part is the adding part. So $3 is the adding part in the service fee. And plus for every something, so this keeps on repeating. You add 5 and add 5 and add 5, like your constant first difference. So you keep track of that by multiplying 5 by X. So altogether, Y is how much service fee John paid, and it can be calculated by adding 3 and 5X together. So now knowing John paid $28, we can say 28 is equal to 3 plus 5X. Undo the 3 to isolate 5X term. 25 is equal to 5X. Now isolate X by dividing both sides by 2. X is equal to 5. But this is not the amount on John's paycheck. This is just how many times 100 is on his paycheck. So as a result, we have to multiply 5 by 100 to represent the amount of money that John has earned on his last paycheck, which is $500.